Send out the tweets. Update everything. Okay. I think we're good. It looks like we're live on Twitch, so I'm going to assume we're good. Hello everyone, this is Chris Ingerson, and it is June 27th, and this is the June 27th TextQuest Devstream. So, today we are going to be continuing our work on the wizard cutscene for the castle level. And in particular, we're actually going to be, I didn't expect to be doing this, we're going to be delving into timeline, because Unity 2017.1 is now in release candidate. It's technically still on the beta page, but it's titled, or it's got a suffix of F1, which is usually the full release candidate that they put out. So I doubt that they're actually going to change anything between now and the quote-unquote official launch. They might rename it F2 or something, but historically with betas, once it reaches this F1 moniker, it's done. It's ready to ship, and they're not going to make any real changes. So I updated the project to 2017.1, and today will kind of serve as a test bed to see if that's a good idea or a bad idea. We'll find out. In any case, to get started, let's take a look at some of the things that I've changed since last Thursday. Yes, last Thursday. I have, oh, and it's not maximized, so that's gonna ruin it. So I have, oh, did I teleport or did it? I think it might have bounced back. Okay, that might have been me. Anyway, so I have more or less set up the wall here to be what I want it to be. Oh yeah, so those move behind me. I gotta move that back then. In any case. So now this is our current sort of push away spell. It looks like we do need to move the main label backwards a little bit. But so we get our initial dialogue, our scaled up dialogue, and then we get a fade in on the actual wall plow. We might end up, looks like I need to move it closer actually because this is falling behind me. So it could just be that I need to move the wall in the background a little bit closer to it. And I'm also thinking that I'm debating it. I'm not sure if I want to. I'm not sure if I want to remove the large scaled up letters because I kind of like them. They add a nice sort of bit of consistency. But at the same time, you have things like this gone, which spills over way too much into the left label. So for the time being, I think we're going to just make some minor tweaks to that, and then we'll move on to timeline. This is actually quite convenient. Oh, that's not supposed to be like that. Okay. You know what it is? I had to rebake my lighting. Oh, right. I never fixed that. Well, let's fix that. I had to rebake my lighting to match the new 2017 lighting asset standard. Because every time you update Unity, you need to rebake all your light maps. And I forgot to properly set up my scene for the light map bake. So these magic walls are kind of here when they're not supposed to be. So I'm going to make some quick changes and rebake light maps. And actually, it's not, surprisingly, it is not that bad to rebake the light maps in, let's go ahead and turn you on. And let me double check to make sure. So it looks like we're going to want to go here, I'm guessing. Yeah, probably here. Okay. So I actually rebaked light maps, and I was expecting it to take a long time before the stream. I started it at like 7:08 just to make everything look decent, and I was expecting it to end at like 7:15, but obviously it's 7:15 now, and it finished in like 1 minute. So I'm actually going to be even more reckless. Today is just a day of recklessness, and I'm going to try to rebake light maps live. And it's actually not going to be that bad, hopefully, because one, I can move transforms around while it's happening. And I'm not actually going to need to rebake light maps because I'm just moving transforms and not anything that's going to bake lights. So let's go ahead and come over here to lighting. Let's turn off our magic. Magic. Props. Here we are. Unless I have a magic thing. I don't think I do. Okay. Throne room, magic, seals. All right. Let's go ahead and turn these off. Oh, wait, no. If I remember correctly. Actually, no. I'm going to try just disabling them. Okay. I don't remember if I need to keep them on but set their emissive to be black and then disable them, or if I can just do this and hopefully it'll work. We'll find out. So let's go ahead and come back over here and we'll generate lighting. It's actually surprising. The current light maps are smaller than what I had before. Before, my light maps were about 8 megabytes, and now they're 6 megabytes, which means that Unity's compression for their light maps has gotten a lot better. A whopping 2 megabytes has been shaved off. That's actually kind of impressive. And of course, you know, this is, since it's a new version of Unity, the lighting window looks, well, not completely different, but fairly different. And that means that at some point I'm going to need to go through here to actually figure out how to navigate the light map inspector again. Because, geez, in the span of, I want to say, like 2 or 3 versions, it went from a fairly sparse light mapping editor to something fairly in-depth. Oh, I guess progressive light mapping is still in preview. I thought they were going to have that be done by 2017. Oh, well. Lots of new fun stuff to mess with. But again, the big one today is going to be trying to get Timeline up and running. Now, I have messed with Timeline in the past, during the actual beta for 2017. I haven't done anything crazy with it. In fact, I was using it for sprite animations more than anything else. But I'm curious to see how it ends up functioning today. And of course, it's convenient for us that 2017 is now out in release candidate because, well, we were having trouble with Cinema Director causing massive lag spikes after like 4 or 5 tracks. So hopefully we won't have that problem with Timeline. I would be surprised if we did, and I would actually be I wouldn't be surprised, I'd be flabbergasted. But, alright. Oh man, everything's frozen. Is that me? Nope. Okay, sorry. I was looking at the Twitch page and everything. It still looks frozen. Why do you look frozen? Make me nervous, Twitch. Alright, in any case, let's see here. Let's go ahead and start moving some of our points around here. So here's our starting point. I bet... Actually, so if we move... Collider, maybe? No. Ah, geez, it's really far back. No wonder. Okay, this is going to be interesting. Oh, there it is. There's 8 megabytes. Okay. Don't exactly know what happened to fix that down to 6 and then bring it back up to 8. But whatever. It works. Alright, so I'm going to do some quick inspector shenanigans. Switch this to global so I can drag these forward by 1. And that should put them a little bit closer to the collider, which should mean that they're not going to be nearly as far back, so they'll actually be a little bit closer, and we won't have that big gap between the initial spoken label and then the wall labels. Let's see, start needs to probably be forward. Do I want to do full 1? Yeah, that's probably fine. Okay. So let's go ahead and save, and let's try running this again, just to see what it looks like. But yeah, I am pretty curious to see. That's pretty close. That might be. Oh, that's too close. Yeah. Okay. I need to move it back a little bit, so I might move start back 1. Yeah. Ah, geez, we're getting the jiggle again. Which might just be because of 2 colliders fighting. No, it's... yeah. Alright, let's go ahead and stop playing. And I'm going to go ahead and move the start position just back by 1 to see what that looks like. Alright. Let's take a look. Oh, and I should probably turn off my snapping here. Because that's going... I'm going to forget that it's on, and then it's going to bug me. Oops. Okay. Yeah, I really just... I don't know why it freaks out like that. Dang it! Seriously? Yeah, if I move it back by 1, so I have to have it moved up. Otherwise, it's just going to not be positioned properly. That's rather frustrating. Alright, So we get that. Ah, jeez, the jiggle just seems so much worse. See, and I kind of, just because of how bad this is, I almost do want to just parent the player to the collider should they actually come in contact with it, because the player can't run faster than it, than the wall can move. So it might make sense for as soon as the player basically collides with the wall, for it to parent the player to it, and then once it's done with the plow function, it's just going to deparent the player. Yeah, no, this is too close. Dang it. I hate that when it happens like that. Yep, it's too close. Dang, that sucks. Okay. So the question is, do I want this to be in front of or behind the other labels? Because, God, this close, it hurts my eyes to try and read it. I like it being in front, but there's no way I can keep it there. Otherwise, it's going to go behind the player or be right up against their freaking eyeballs. And that makes it hard to read, which is a death sentence in this game. So let's... Ah, jeez. That's rather frustrating. Alright, let's do this. Move our speech right and left point forward. And what's the next thing I need to do here? Turn you off, because otherwise I will forget. Okay, let's try this. See how it is. This is the only shortcoming of this new wall. I really, really do like... Okay, see, that's not bad, but then we get fighting like this. Yeah. Yarg. I just can't win no matter what I do. So it might be better, actually. This might be a good reason to kill. Seriously? Hold on, it was way more legible before. It's too close. Dang it! What the heck? Great. So, yeah, short of basically forcing the wall to move before the speech labels are parented to it, is the only way I can think of to get around that problem. So it would basically move, then parent, then everything would move in unison. Go figure. Either way, I do think it looks like we're going to have to get rid of the large labels. Or alternatively, I could just increase the size of our box colliders, I guess. So let's go ahead and turn you on. And let's just increase the, I guess it would be the Z size of our box colliders to like 2. Okay, it's not the Z apparently. That means it's the X to 2. And actually, you know what? No, let's be cartoonish here. Let's go to like 5. Okay. Let's take a look at this. I should have disabled them, but I didn't. I'm a fool! Either way, the point is just to see where the collider... Yeah, it's not bad. We still get some fighting in the middle there. But again, I think once we parent the player to them, that fighting, this sort of Z fight... It's not Z fighting, I don't know what to call that. Physics fighting will hopefully go away because the player won't actually be colliding anymore. They'll just be parented to it. Yeah, it looks pretty good. And do I have... The only problem, I guess, I guess this is probably the reason why I subconsciously didn't do it. The only problem is that once the player is parented to them, there's nothing stopping the player from just turning around and running super fast. And actually, oh geez, that might work horribly. Because conceivably, if the player does this, goes forward, spawns, runs away. I guess, no, actually, that's not a problem. Because I would only have the player get parented on collision. So, never mind. Not a issue. Okay, so yeah, I think we're going to get rid of the get back, the large get backs, not the walls and not the front labels, and then we will parent the player on collision to make a smooth transition so we don't get that flicker. And then once we're done with that, we'll be able to actually dive into timeline, hopefully, if we're lucky. All right. So first things first, I'm going to go ahead and disable our cubes here because they're not going to be enabled by default. Let's go up here to plow. Should I have a wizard plow? I might add a wizard plow wall here. So, oh dang it! I forgot to update my C# templates. Dang it! We'll just have to live with it. Wizard plow wall. Oh, I should have called it plow collider. Oh well, that's fine. It's a terrible name anyway. Wizard plow wall. So yeah, we got our freaking terrible C# template scripts here. So now I gotta do all my namespacing. So namespace sleepy owl dot text quest. Oops. There we go. Let's go ahead and get rid of the system stuff. Hit save. Do an advanced save so that we don't have conflicting line endings. Let's see here. So sleepy owl text quest, wizard plow wall, all this stuff is fine. Let's go ahead and say private game object, cache game object, public game object, cached game object, get return, cached game object, question mark, cached game object, else cached game object is equal to game object. Just caching that so we don't constantly generate garbage. Let's see, what else do we need to do? We're going to need to say, oh, we need to add some events. Public delegate void, not coid, void. Plow event, wall event, whatever works. Wall event, public event, wall event, on player collide. Do I want to do that? Yes? Question mark? Yeah, it's fine. Equals delegate. So we're going to make a empty delegate there. And before I forget, I'm also going to say using sleepyowl.common because I need to properly detect the player. So we're going to say public string player tag is equal to player. I'll add a tag attribute to that so that it's a nice drop down. And then we're going to come down here and say private void on player. On collision enter. Collision call. Alright. Man, I almost never do on collision enter. It's almost always on trigger enter. So we're going to say, I'm actually curious if the player will even register as a collider, or as a collision. It's a collider in the sense that it's a character controller, but I don't know. Find out. So we're going to say if call dot, I don't know if I can do compare tag here. Nope. We're going to have to do call dot game object dot tag, compare tag to player tag. If I could spell player tag, which apparently I can't. Player tag, and that's just going to confirm that the object we hit is actually the player. So if that's the case, then we're going to go ahead and, do I want to parent? No, we'll have a, we'll go ahead and say public game transform, I guess. Transform parent. Parent. Yeah, we'll just call it parent. I was going to just parent the player to the plow wall, but if I did that and they get wedged in the center, it's entirely possible that they'll just constantly get parented back and forth. So this should prevent that from happening. So we're going to say game object. No, not that. Game object. Go is equal to call.gameObject. Okay, call.gameObject, which means I can actually just do go here. Let's see, so if, actually, can I do transform instead? So call.transform compare tag, will that work? Oh, that'll work even better. Okay, so let's just go ahead and say transform. Wow, that did not work. Transform. Geo.transform. There we go. And because I'm paranoid, Geo here. Good. Sorry. I need to actually make sure that I always check my mic levels before I mute, but it just sucks because I have freaking ads that play, and I don't get to turn them off, even for me. So I can't actually check my mic levels before the stream starts. What a cruel world. In any case, so we cache our transform, and then we're going to compare its tag, and then we're going to just say if geo.parent is equal to, or not equal, is not equal to parent, then we're just going to say geo.parent is equal to parent. Okay, simple as that. Now we do have a problem. Well, we'll just try this. Let's see. We're going to go up here to wizard plow. We're going to turn this into wizard plow wall. Plow walls. Dot cached game object. Dot cached game object. All right. And in that respect, we actually don't even need these events anymore because I'm just doing everything on collision enter. So we should be able to test this now. Let's go ahead and attach our scripts and make sure that everything works. And I'm probably going to have to come up with some solution for the player just standing around, getting hit by the colliders, and then running away. Because in theory, that would work. And that's obviously not ideal. So we'll have to figure that out. I might have an on-collision exit sort of thing. I don't know. We'll figure that out. So let's go ahead and go to our plow. Let's turn our cubes in here. Don't need our material open so much. Let's go ahead and add a component. It's going to be our wizard plow. Why can't I spell plow? Wizard plow wall. Player tag is going to be player. Parent is going to just go ahead and be collider. And that's all we need to do. I guess I will go ahead and just add a couple of events here. So public here. We're going to add a event public, not an event, a function. Public void despawn, deinitialize, I guess. And this is just going to, if the player is actually a child of the parent, this deinitialize will just pop them off of being that child of the parent. That way we don't get parented to something that's going to be moving a lot. We want to avoid that. So we're going to go ahead and actually say up here, say private transform, what do I want to call it? Cache player transform, I guess. Let's go ahead and say cache player transform is equal to geo. Okay. And then we're just going to say down here, if cached transform does not equal null, cache player transform dot set parent null. One position stays will be true, and then we're going to say cache player transform is equal to null. And that reminds me that down here I actually need to say dot set parent, and then comma true. All right. So that should, for the most part, be done. Down here on stop plow, we're going to need to say plow walls of i.deinitialize, and that's just a safety check so that we can deparent the player properly. All right. Let's go ahead and reassign our wizard plows, and then we should be good. I'm just super excited to try timeline because it is a really cool tool, and I always enjoy getting a new toy. What was the Jack Nicholson line? Where does he get those wonderful toys? I'm a big fan of new workflows. It's always fun to learn them. Although sometimes it can actually be very frustrating. I don't think it did it. Did I not code on collision enter properly? I don't think I did. Just to be sure, I am going to go ahead and throw in a debug here. So let's go ahead and say debug.log parenting player. Okay. It is on collision enter, right? I'm not crazy. On collision enter, collision. Yes, I am pretty sure that I got that right. Just to be sure. I always get... Okay, good. I always get concerned that I had some slight misspelling that I can't see it. And then that's just going to screw everything up. So, let's put that debug in there. And I guess let's make sure that the player is actually tagged as player. I am 95% sure that it is. Okay, good. Ah, crap! It's also in the ignore raycast layer, which might have some problems. We'll find out. Okay. Did it? Interesting. No. It didn't. Ah, dang it. I bet that it's because of the... I bet it's because it's not a collider, it's a character controller. Okay. Let me think. Okay. I can try converting this to on trigger. Oh no, I can't. That won't work. If I make it a trigger, then there's nothing stopping the player from just walking right through it. So even if they get parented, they'll still be able to just walk through it. That's not good. What could I do to avoid that? I could add some child objects that are basically just triggers, and they'll catch the player and parent them. But I don't think I can do on collision enter. It won't work. Like just to be sure, I could probably up here just say debug.log call.name. I guess I can't do that. Call.gameObject.name. Okay, so this will debug all of the game object names for the objects that I collide with, or not that I collide with, but the wall collides with. And that will let us know if it's even colliding or detecting a collision with the player character. I'm willing to bet that it's not, because again, I'm using a character controller, not a actual collider, which has its own problems. Okay. Yeah, like a whole lot of nothing. Huh. It... Okay. It didn't even... I guess I don't have a what's it called? A rigid body on this, so that could cause problems. Harumph. Okay. So... I might have to use triggers instead. That's fine. That's cool. Just means I'm going to move this script out, basically. Let's see. So let's go ahead and, do I want to shrink? You know what, I think collision-wise, they're actually in a pretty good spot. Let's go ahead and add another cube, I guess. So I'll just do this. So this will be player trigger, parenting trigger. Yeah, we'll call it that. And this is our right wall. I should probably name these instead of calling everything cubes. Let's see, we're going to set you at 10. Oh, good. Are you snapping? Huh. It's weird I turned it off, but it's still snapping to that. I probably just need to do this. Oh, that's never a good sign. Oh, also that's rotation. That would be why. Duh. I was like, why are you snapping? Okay, parent trigger. So parent trigger, I guess, is just going to be moved. Let's change you to local. We're just going to move parent trigger up by, I guess, 2. Let's go ahead and select both of these. Let's set our parent trigger size to be something like 2 in the X. So actually, it looks like I might move it back by 1. Got a little bit. Let's increase its size to 3, and then we'll call it good. Okay, we're going to remove the wizard plow from here. Remove component. Remove it from here. We're going to go ahead and duplicate this, parent it under here. Scale and position and rotation. F. Okay, we're looking good, looking good. I need to do -2 in the X, looks like. Okay, and finally, I just need to rename this to be parent trigger. Call this one left wall. And then come up here. Well, disable these. And then come up here to plow, parent trigger, parent trigger. All right, now we can convert these to on trigger enter. On trigger enter. Collider, call. Oh good, I can still do all of these things. Okay, well that's convenient. So let's see. I guess I'll go ahead and do just geo. Okay, I think this will work. I'm hopeful at least. Let's go ahead and let this load. And then we shall go. Once it compiles finally. There we go. Alright. So hopefully this will actually debug everything. Let us know that we are being collided with. I am a little concerned that it actually won't work unless I move. What just happened there? What just happened? Did I do something stupid? Well, I didn't make these triggers, so that's fair, but I don't... What happened? Okay. Okay. I'm gonna just really hope that that was a weird fluke. Of course it's not. I don't know what's going on here. Can I... There. Are you kidding me? What's happening here? Does... What the heck? This is insanity. What is happening? Hold up. We're not even getting on trigger enter calls. Okay. What to, what to do about this? We weren't getting any errors. My only thought would be that somehow this trigger is preventing the collision from occurring. So having these two colliders stacked on top of each other is basically breaking it. I'm not going to maximize on play, and instead I'm going to take a look at this. This is kind of weird. What the heck is going on? Oh, it's disabled. Oh, duh. Oh my goodness. I'm so stupid. Duh. Because I never enabled the collider. I never enabled the game object. I was enabling this game object, which was already enabled. Okay, that's my fault. Jeez. Public game object. I hate having two lists. That's rather annoying. Or two arrays. Public game object. I guess I'll call them plow colliders. Alright, so let's go ahead and just say plow colliders of I dot set active false. Let's copy paste these. True. Okay. Well, alrighty then. So let's try this. I feel a fool. Come on, you can compile. Alright, so right wall and left wall. Let's go ahead and save, and I think we should be good. Yeah, this is what I was a little afraid of. Whoa! Huh. Okay. So it's teleporting back before it despawns me. So I just gotta change that. Let's see. Wizard plow, stop plow. Here we go. That should fix that little issue. Get a drink while that's going on. But you can see what my problem was, or my concern rather. Because once the player is parented to it, there's nothing really stopping the player from just turning around and running super fast. So if I, run like this, it's fine. But as soon as I get hit, I basically double my movement speed, or triple it, or whatever. Will I slip through it this time? No. Okay. And yeah, the colliders actually look like they're about the appropriate thickness now. So I'm pretty happy with that. But we gotta come up with something here. I don't really know what else to do besides just like applying force almost in a given direction, which I don't really have. Although it could be a useful thing to have, I guess, in terms of player mobility. Or I guess control over the player character. It would be good. Well, I'm kind of babbling today. Basically what I'm saying is that it would be good to have some way for me to access the player's velocity from script and force it to basically add a certain direction. Because then I could counteract this movement speed with, granted, a velocity I would have to calculate. But it would let me prevent this super fast moving to the left. So, or alternatively, I could do an effect where as soon as the player gets touched by this, essentially like another wall spawns on the left and wedges them in, sort of like it's grabbing them. And then once they get to the end, it'll release them. That would basically prevent them from being able to do this. Run super fast and then just get here before the other side does. Excuse me. The real question then becomes, how do I want it to look visually? That sort of wrapping motion. Because a really cool thing to do would just be to have the individual words sort of wrap around you. But that would also be a nightmare, in the sense that it would be terribly difficult to actually get a bunch of colliders to bend like that. Oh, geez, I can't even imagine what I would have to do. I would have to basically make all of the vertical rows of the words you see into sort of like sub labels instead of making them all. So right now it's two labels, one for the left wall and one for the right wall. I guess I should probably pause so that we can sort of break this down a little bit easier. All right. So the way it's structured currently, we have 6 labels in total. We have the left and right label for our initial wording, we have our left and right label for our scaled wording, and then we have our left and right label for our wall wordings, basically. But to get this wrapping motion that I'm talking about, I would essentially need to have an arbitrary number of these walls, or an arbitrary number of these wall labels that would just be, in the case of shove, we would have 1, 2, 3, 4. In the case of off, we would have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's however many word iterations it takes to basically fill up the actual rect transform here without... That is not correct. Are you scaled? You are scaled. Okay, that's why it's so weird. Why are you scaled? That's... Okay. That's interesting. In any case, so it looks like our walls are a little scaled, but basically it's going to try to fill in this area as much as possible, and then if it goes over that amount of area based on the word lengths, it will shave off entire words so that we don't get like shoe or sh. We'll always get a full word out of this. So I would basically have to do the same thing in terms of a rect transform size for bounds, but then I would need to subdivide it into however many labels would fit in that, and then force them to animate in a way that would be counterintuitive, because it's not actually going to be pre-recorded animation. I would have to procedurally animate something because it could have any number of iterations, because you can see that this has 4 while this has 5. So, that would be a nightmare. It would look cool. I don't dispute that, but it would suck. Okay. What to do about that? It would also be a nightmare to calculate. I'm not even going to try to think about that, at least not for today's stream. I might actually think about that for Thursday's stream, but for now, we don't really have a good solution here. Yeah, that's something that's a little bit more difficult than I would like. So, well, and by difficult, I mean it's going to take a lot of time, and it would be quite a bit of design sort of flexing. So I'm gonna hold off on that specific issue until after the stream, just because I would like to try and figure out how to do that properly. It took me a surprising amount of time actually to figure out how to programmatically determine how many words I needed to write on each wall, because TextMesh Pro is amazing, but also sometimes counterintuitive. All right. In any case, so I think we're at a decent spot to switch over to start trying our new timeline stuff. So let's go ahead and come up here to Timeline Editor. I'm going to drag this down here so we have a little bit more room. Okay. Now here we're going to get a little bit if you haven't worked with Timeline, and I'm assuming that most people haven't because it was in beta and not in the actual release, Timeline uses an actual project asset to drive all of its animations. It's basically an asset that stores the animation values. And it's going to affect how our scene is laid out, because anything driven in Timeline has to have an animator, which is not ideal in my opinion, but I can understand why they would have to do that since they're doing a bunch of it's basically a giant animation tool. At the end of the day, even though it doesn't necessarily create animations necessarily, I guess. So I'm going to come up here to animation. I'm going to have a folder called timelines. It will have a uppercase T because it should. I'm going to create a folder. We're going to call it intro. Create castle. All right. And we're going to create. Where's our timeline? All right. I'm going to call this wizard. I guess castle. Castle wizard. All right. Now we're going to add a track group, which I'm going to try to rename unsuccessfully. Okay. I'm not going to lie. This is going to take some getting... Wait, was it doing it? Wizard. Okay, that is really counterintuitive. It didn't even look like I was selecting it. So hooray! We're all gonna learn a lot of stuff today. Yeah, and there it was colliding with our hero a bunch. So I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of these debugs because we know that works now. Let's go ahead and stop. Let's go ahead and clear these out. All right, we're gonna add a activation track. And if I remember correctly, an activation track is just something that's going to toggle a game object, which is perfect. We're going to want it to toggle our... Right, that's not annoying. We're going to want it to toggle... Did it do it twice? I guess it did. All right, let's delete one of them. But the question is, how does it know which one to toggle? I don't know. There doesn't seem to be a... Oh, jeez. Alright, well, hold on. Come down here to Wizard, or to Castle Wizard. I don't remember if I need to have a... Create other timeline? No. Video... Effects... 2D... 3D... Okay. In any case, oh right, I remember now. This is one of the things that I didn't like about timeline. If you deselect, can I lock this actually? I can't. Jeez, that's annoying. If you deselect it or select something else, this happens, and that makes it very annoying to try and actually drag NPCs in here. So I'm going to want to apparently nothing. Ah, the director component. There we go. I knew I needed something, but I didn't remember what. I'm going to call this archive for the old ones. Come on. Alright. Let's go ahead and add a new game object here. This is going to be our wizard appears. Alright. Timeline, wow, really? Director. Oh, right, because they're playables. Ah, right, this system takes some getting used to again. I forgot how weird it is. Let's see. Update time, game time, that's all fine. Play on awake, uncheck that. Rat mode, none. And initial time is 0. Okay, so that's all good. And the playable is going to be our castle wizard. There we go. Now I can actually target these things. So let's go ahead and, do I want it on this or do I want it on this? I think I want it on this. So this is where it gets annoying, but I think it'll be fine if I lock this. Nope, of course not. So locking is worthless. They really need to have some way of preventing this from constantly switching out like that. It is very frustrating. Either way, now let's see if it, oh, I guess it doesn't automatically do it. So it only needs that for animations. Okay, that's fair, or movements. Looks like active and deactive don't need, or active and deactivate timeline doesn't need that necessarily. Let's go ahead and say, so it's going to be act. Can I really not change if it's active? Post playback state inactive. There it is. Ugh. Okay. So wait, seriously? Ugh, that's gross. These are two different things. Jeez. All right, let's. Can I shorten this, or is this done relative? It's 60 frames per second. I get you. I got you. Yep, there it is. Frame rate. Okay. Well, that's actually kind of nice. So it actually exposes the frame rate of your cutscenes. Although, well, I guess they would have to do something like that just conceptually. Otherwise, they would never be able to control anything in a predictable manner. Okay. So I'm just going to set that to be 1 second. It does that. There's no reason it has to be 1 second. It could be 1 frame, but I want to be able to read it. In any case, let's go ahead and add another activation track. This is kind of annoying. Can I change this to be in seconds? I can. Good. So that's actually pretty nice. We can either view our playback up here in seconds or in frames. I'm going to choose seconds because that's actually the thing that's more important to me than specific frames. At least for as far as timeline is considered. Mostly because when you're working with cutscenes, you want to be able to judge how long the cutscene is, and frames just doesn't really tell you anything. Like 570 frames, 600 frames. We know that it runs at 60 frames per second, which means that 600 frames is 10 seconds, but that's not immediately intuitive to you, so it's best to just keep this in seconds, and then it gives you proper readouts. So this is half a second, full second, 130, 2 seconds, so on and so on. Let's go ahead and scale out. And I believe we're targeting 20 seconds for this. So let's go ahead and slide this out to 20. Looks like we'll start this at frame 900. We'll set this to end. I don't know. We want it to be 1 second, so 16. And its state for that is going to end up being inactive. So this is going to start by turning on the wizard, then it's going to end by turning off the wizard. Fairly predictable because it's the wizard's cutscene. All right, let's go ahead and rename our tracks because if we don't rename them now, I won't remember what they are later. So let's go ahead and say enable, disable, with a capital D. Don't want to be a savage. All right, let's see what other tracks can we do. Oh, and we also might end up writing our own. Actually, no, we're definitely going to end up writing our own custom tracks for this, which is going to be a fun thing because I don't remember how to do that. So, hooray for timeline and new features. Let's see. So track subgroup. I actually wonder if I can I drag these guys underneath that? I can. Oh, this is so beautiful. Let's go ahead and rename this to be game object or active visible. Man, there's not a really good name for this. Activation, or active, I guess. Ugh. All right. And let's go ahead and put our enable to be first, so everything's sort of sequential. And that means that we can toggle that in, which is super nice. Oh, and we can even get nice little previews to tell you where things are, even if you don't know what they are. But that's fine. This is going to be such a beautiful tool to work with. Now, the real question is if it will support Command-Z, or Control-Z, I guess, and if it will throw errors or not. I don't know. All right. So let's go ahead and collapse that. Let's add another track subgroup. Let's see, what else do I want to do for an initial test here? I don't know. I guess we'll leave this track subgroup as is. Let's see, what else do we have? We have an animation track, an audio track, control track. I don't know what a control track is. And I believe a playable track is just another... You can do nested timelines, or I guess they're called playables. So you can have one timeline get started, or have place man, I can't talk. Have play called on it by another timeline, so you can basically nest timelines. And then of course we have Cinemachine stuff, but we're not actually going to do anything with Cinemachine in here because it's a first-person game, and it would not make sense for the camera to suddenly get yanked away from you. So let's see. What do I want to do here? We might. This is going to be interesting. Create playables. Yeah, I believe we want to say playable behavior. C# script, I think. Let's find out. This is going to be something we have to do. And we're going to call it display text playable. So I'm going to keep the playable suffix to let me know that it's for timeline. And if I'm correct, I think this is the thing that we want. It's attached to a playable. Oh, right. And if I remember, there's also, I think you need both of those actually. So we're going to say create playables and then playable asset. And this is going to be just display text. I think. I am like 90% sure, but I could be wrong here. Alright, once that's done compiling, we will be able to test. And I think there's a way to specifically tell this to be exposed to timeline so we can actually add it. As it is right now, if we were to do anything, let's like toggle this stuff all on. If we try to add a subgroup, you'll notice that I don't have anything for it. So I need to properly set this up. Before we do that, I am actually going to go to game development, Unity, not text quest, avatar, I think, build. Oh, of course it's empty. That's not bad at all. Stakeout Tango test maybe. New folder, beta, Cinemachine, beta, scene loading, nope. New folder, okay. We come back down here, go to streaming, avatar. Do I have? Man, I just don't know. All right, give me a second. Let's go to file, open project. Where are you? Streaming avatar. Stream audio. There we go. That's what I did. Why did I put it there? Who knows? So I need Unity, your game development, Unity, test, stream audio. Okay. Stream audio or streaming avatar? I don't. Steam audio. Duh. Okay. That must have just been a mistake on my part. Anyway, I know that I have timelines working in here. So let me look up my scripts real quick. Timeline, events, update resolution. Yeah, okay. I'm going to open these to take a look at them. And then that should help us actually decipher everything. Let's see. So all this stuff is fine. Script playable, on play state changed. All this fun stuff. Hold on. Alright. Huh. I guess I don't need to have a... Is there something else that I needed to do then? I could have sworn that there was something I needed to do to actually add those playables. Maybe not. Maybe they're actually... hold on, let's come back out over here. We'll call these playables. Playables. Let's add a playable track. And now we can... There it is. Okay, so it does automatically detect it. So I guess I was crazy. But we do have to actually properly serialize everything. I do know that. So let's go ahead and open these both up. Display text playable, and let's see. Close you. And let's go ahead and see what we needed to do for this. Create playable. I'm actually going to drag this over to the left so that you guys don't get bothered by it. And let's go ahead and can I do two? Of course not. Oh, yes I can. Aha. It's just totally awkward. Sorry, I'm reshaping everything on my left monitor to make it legible, and so I can keep my eye on chat should I need anything. So let's see. We have our display text, which is a playable asset, and then display text playable, which I'm assuming, so playable behavior looks like it's the new version. In the past, it was called script playable. So we want on play state changed. Oh, jeez. Okay. So I'm guessing on behavior play. The state of the playable is set to play. Set to paused. While it's set to play. Okay, I think we want this one, on behavior play. And that, in theory, should be called when... okay, so yeah, I get it. So on graph start is when the entire timeline starts playing. On graph stop is when the entire timeline stops. On behavior play is called when the behavior is actually reached. So in the case of our activate behavior down here, or up here, so when, let me scroll out actually. So when our timeline, can I not scrub? Really? Hold on. There, now I can scrub. So when our timeline would get to here, it would call play on this active behavior, assuming it was actually a playable behavior. And if we were to pause while we're in it, it'll cause this, or it'll call this, oh, it's over here. It'll call this on behavior pause, and while the timeline is playing through the section with this active playable, it's going to be calling this function. Okay. So I don't need that. I only need on behavior play. Let's go ahead and save some stuff. We're going to do an advanced save. Make sure that it's Windows. Get rid of our extra space down here. Okay. Now, this is display text playable. Let's go ahead and say public string text. Text, maybe. Sure, text is equal to nothing. Okay, and one of the quirks that I do remember about this is you basically have to make two scripts for every action that you want to do. It's not just one script behavior, because the text display text playable is, I believe, the actual script that gets added here on the playable track, but we have to have an actual playable asset script as well, because that's where all of that information is stored. So it's this weird thing where you need two classes to do one class, to perform the behavior of one class, because one is storing all of the data and one is executing all of that data. It's weird. In any case, so we're going to come over here to display text playable. This is all fine. I am going to go ahead and copy this out and paste it here. And let's see, do I need anything else? No. Okay. I'm going to uncomment that, or I'm going to comment that out, and then I'm going to try to do what I did before, and I'm not sure if it will work. No, that totally will not work. Okay. Maybe I don't need to do this anymore. Playable handle. So playable handle is still a thing. Handle is equal to graph dot, wow, I totally spelled graph with an E, didn't I? Graph dot create. Okay, yeah, so we're already. So I might not need to do anything extra here. If I'm lucky. Yeah, I'm guessing I don't need to. Okay. So maybe I don't need to do anything. Let's find out. If we're lucky, I won't have to, but something tells me I'm going to. This is going to be a little bit more difficult than I would like. So let's go ahead and come down here. Right, the freaking advanced save stuff. This is why I hate not having my templates set up. Windows, save, okay. There we go. All right, so let's go ahead and try adding playable track here, which I'm going to go ahead and add a new subtrack once it compiles, I guess. Should it grace me with its desire to actually finish compiling? We're going to add a track group here. This is going to be our display text group. Display text. We're going to go ahead and add a playable track. Let's go ahead and add display text. And here is our text. We're going to say this is a test. Okay. And is there really no error? All right, maybe it just, maybe they just got it to a point where you no longer have to do all that stuff, which is nice. And I'm glad I don't have to do that. If that's the case, I don't even know if I need to have two actual scripts then, and they might have actually reduced that down to one. Either way, let's shorten this length from 5 seconds to 1. It would be nice if I could actually update what this is saying, but I don't know if I can do that very easily. That would be super cool. In any case, let's go ahead and come down here. Let's go to our display text playable. On behavior play, we will go ahead and call something. Hold on, let me find my display text scripts again. I guess it's going to go under archive display text. Here we are. Actor item track display text event. Okay. There we are. So we want to do this, basically. Oh, and I should probably expose these. So, okay. Let's go ahead and come over here to you. I'm going to paste you in. I'm going to come up here. I'm going to copy these. That would actually be pretty cool if I can do tooltips. That would be nice. Let's see. We're also going to namespace everything because I need to do that. So using sleepyowl.common namespace sleepyowl.text quest. Come down here. Hit save. Duration, huh? Duration is not a thing? Oh, I bet duration probably derives from that, doesn't it? Okay. Can I get... I wonder if I can get duration from this. I don't know. Let's find out. Will this tell me how long it goes on for? Nope. It does not. Frame data might, though. Do I have frame data? I do. Can I do info.delta time? Frame ID, time held. Local time did not advance, no. Wait. Huh. Well, that's not nearly as nice as I would have liked. Effective wait, speed maybe? Nope. Hash type, get values. Seek occurred. Okay, so that's not quite useful to me. Can I do playable dot, let's see what we get here. There's a get duration. got an extension? Okay. It looks like duration. Yeah. Weird. It has it's an extension class. Okay. Get duration. Oh, geez. Where U is a struct that derives from iPlayable. Do I have to do that, or can I just... Nope. Of course not. Oh, can I just convert to a float, maybe? Okay. I don't know. Question mark. That seems to be correct. It's hard to say. And I'm going to go ahead and guess that that's fine. All right, let's go ahead and just leave it as is. Okay. Let's test this out then. I don't know. We're in uncharted territory, and it's super cool. Or at least I think it is. Let's see here. Initial time, bindings. Disable. Oh, I didn't. Oh, that's kind of... yeah, I'm not super crazy about that, so I have to constantly assign these things. Drag you out here. Playables, display text. Okay. Ah! So I was right. So just because I don't have to do anything super crazy with create playable, I do still need to have all of this stuff serialized. So I do need all of this, basically. Which I think means I actually want to do this. I'm going to do a little test here. Oops, not what I wanted. I'm going to get rid of the tooltip here for text. And I'm going to keep the tooltip here, and if I can see all of the tooltips... Actually, I'm going to go ahead and get rid of the tooltip down here. So if I can see the tooltip for text, but not the tooltip for fade out, then I know that it's using this. And if I can see the tooltip for fade out, but not for text, then I know it's using this one. I'm just trying to figure out where the tooltips get their information from. Because you do need two scripts still. So if I'm right, then we should see some fields pop up here. Shazam. Abracadabra. There it is. All right, let's hover over this text display, and no fade out. Okay. So that means that it is indeed our asset that actually ends up determining what everything, or what our tooltips are being used for. So let's go ahead and get rid of these. So these probably just need to be serializable, or serialized. They probably don't need to be public or anything like this. And I'm guessing that's the same for display text. These just need to be serialized fields. And I'm willing to bet, actually, on the back end, since they're using actual system.serializable here, that, well, I guess it could just be that because playable asset is probably a struct. But it's probably just using like the JSON serialization that Unity does to store all of these variables and then just repopulate them when needed, which seems like that might not be a good idea, but I don't know for sure if that's what they're doing. That's just my guess. It could just be doing a direct... I guess it could be using reflection. Either way, let's go ahead and open this up. Come over here. This is a test. Okay. I wonder... Create playable. What's up with the game object? I wonder what that's used for. Maybe that's the target game object that's being affected by everything. Let me look at graph real quick. I'm curious to see if we can adjust destroy output, disconnect, connect. What's connect do? I have no idea. Ugh. Evaluate, disconnect, get hash code, get output, get playable count, get resolver. Get resolver. Returns the table used by the graph to resolve exposed references. Okay. Root playable count, get time update mode, get type, plain valid. So the graph again is the entire timeline, I believe. Set resolver setup. Yeah, darn. I was really hoping that we could customize, and surely there's a way to do that. I was hoping we could customize this, mostly because it would be nice to be able to actually see a preview of what it's saying. So instead of it just saying display text, it would be super cool if I could see this is a test. So actually, I am going to extend this to 3 seconds, and I think we'll be good there. Okay. So I'm going to disable this wizard, and then I'm just, ooh. Oh, never mind, that's the playable director. Okay. Weird. I thought for a second that that was like a GUI error caused by timeline, but I think it's just that's how it's supposed to be. Um, in any case, I'm going to create a new script down here as well, and it's just going to be called. Do I want to call it? Actually, do I want to make a playable manager script? That probably wouldn't be a terrible idea. Let's go ahead and say playable. You know what? I'll just do a test playable script right now. I'll decide after scripting around with it a little bit. I'll decide if I want to try to come up with a centralized manager for playables. I'm guessing I'm going to do that eventually. To have all of the scenes be able to control their own playables in a predictable manner, but reload all. Get rid of you. Get rid of you. Display text. Where did it go? It apparently did not actually open. Oh, it's probably because I clicked on the wrong thing. All right. Let's see here. Jeez, I gotta do all the freaking namespacing again. Namespace. Sleepy owl. Dot. Text. Not texty quest. Text quest. Down here. Let's go ahead and save. We're gonna go ahead and do an advanced save. Windows end of line stuff. We're all good. All right. So this is going to say. Oops. Actually, before I do anything, I need to learn how to type. And then I gotta say using Unity engine.playables, I believe. And then I need to say director? Playable director, I think. Playable. I can't type. Playable. Okay. Let's give that a public reference. Let's go ahead and say private. You know what? I'll just do private void start. If playable. If playable dot start. Oh, it's called play. Duh. And that would be a car. Let's see. Do I want any of the overrides? Oh, interesting. You can pass in a new playable for it to play. Huh. Okay. I wonder. So does that mean that you're only supposed to have one director per scene, or should you have one director per playable? Maybe it doesn't matter. Either way. Alright, so this will be a test. And what should happen, let's go ahead and come down here once it compiles. What should happen is the wizard will show up and text should display, and then after about 10 seconds, the wizard should disappear. Right? Pretty sure? Yeah. Okay. So let's go ahead and let's add this playable test to it. Pull in our playable director. Get rid of our bindings here. And I think we are good to test here. And actually, you know what, before we do that, I'm going to close this so I don't keep accidentally doing it. We're going to say public float delay is equal to, we'll just say 3F. This just gives us time to actually get in there and look at things before it just starts playing. So using system.collections, enumerator, let's see, yield return new Wait for seconds. Delay. All right. Go ahead and try this then. So I'm curious to see how this looks. If we're lucky, it'll actually look perfect on the first go through, and everything will behave as expected. But I somehow doubt that that's going to be the case. So let's go ahead and hit play. Okay, so we have 3 seconds. Nothing's happening. Okay, that didn't work. But why didn't it work? Are there any null references? New. Okay. Did I enable the wrong thing maybe? No, it's totally the right thing. So here we're going to say post playback state, which I'm guessing should just be. Did I have over this? Apparently not. Should be active, and then this should be inactive. Huh. All right. Let's go ahead and put in a debug here just so that I can immediately tell when it starts. Debug.log. Start. Okay. And I'm going to keep an eye on our hierarchy to see if it's actually going to activate or not. I don't know why it wouldn't, but it, for some reason, seems like it doesn't really want to. Okay. Let's go ahead and hit play. There was our start. Nothing. I do a timeline to see where we are. It says we're at about 5, 3, 4. So it says we're here. But it never activated our wizard. Okay. The question now is why? Huh. That's unfortunate. When it gets to 10, it should stop, right? Huh? Really? Wait, what? Hold on. Hold on. Did I really make it 15 seconds? I guess I did. Okay. Well, either way. Does that mean that it's actually not going to activate until the end? I guess let's test that. Let's set you to be active. Oh, that's not going to do anything. Oh, actually, I guess it will. It looks like changes persist across even play mode. That's nice. And dangerous, but nice, I guess. Okay. Let's go ahead and move this like way down here. Can I snap? Oh, they don't have snapping. That's disappointing. Okay, so we'll be done by 7 seconds. Let's go ahead and turn off preview. Can I actually scrub? I can. Interesting. Hold on. What? What in the world is going on here? So he shows up for the second activate, but not the first. Let's find out if it goes in reverse. Nope. It's whatever one comes last. Okay. That's not annoying at all. So maybe it would be better to just have one active state that stretches. I don't know however long it needs to go. So 7 seconds. Turn off preview mode. Let's try this. Okay. So instead of having smaller tracks that do simpler things, you, I guess, want to have larger tracks for a duration of something. But we still didn't get our debug, or we didn't get our text call. Wait, no, yeah, we definitely didn't. And also, our wizard didn't disappear. Oh, wait, hold on. As a test, down here, inactive. So if I set you to be inactive... Oh, that's somewhat counterintuitive. Okay, I think I get it. Let's turn off preview and let's try it again. This time it will deactivate, I'm guessing, at the end. So the active playable isn't about activating or deactivating an object per se. It's about, so now it's going to show up. Yep. And then it'll disappear after after, I guess, 4 seconds. Yep. So, oh man, that's really weird. So basically the activation playable, instead of basically just doing whatever it needs to do at the beginning of the playable, it's going to activate the object. That's all it does. It just activates. It looks like you can't even tell it to deactivate something. Okay, fine, sure, why not? And then at the end of it, whatever this parameter is determines what the object is going to do. So you can tell it to either have the object be active, have the object be inactive, have the object be whatever it was before. And then I guess, what's the difference between leave as is? Okay. I guess whatever state it wants to be. Weird. Sure, why not? I'll have to look into that actually, see what leave as is. Because it seems like if you have active or inactive, then whatever leave as is does, it can't be different from one of those two. So, hooray. But the main thing is that this active has to be basically, it has to span the entire length of time that the object is active in the cutscene. Okay. I think I got you. I am a little more concerned with why our playable text didn't do anything. So let's come over here to display text playable. I'm going to put a debug in there. We'll just say debug.log on behavior play. And I'm actually going to stick this in pretty much, well, I honestly don't know where else it would go. But for the sake of testing, I am going to go ahead and stick it everywhere. So in all of these functions, just so that I can be sure about when things are called. Okay. So let's see. Let that compile, and then we should be able to actually get things to function as expected. And if none of those debugs happen, then I'm guessing that I do actually need to script some extra stuff, which is going to be super fun in our asset. A little worried about that, but we'll find out. Okay, so we got 3 seconds. Did anything happen? I don't think anything happened. So, yeah, I am guessing that we do need to actually do something here. Okay. Jeez. Graph.connect. Okay, so connect you source, where U derives from playable and V derives from playable as well. Source output port, I don't know what that even means. Destroy output, destroy playable, destroy subgraph, disconnect, equals evaluate, get output by type. Get root playable, count, time update, get type is done, is playing is valid play, start result or set resolver. Jeez, okay. I don't know, let's see what playable asset does. Duration, outputs, create playable. Root playable if multiple playables are injected. Okay. Player.create. Oh. Oh. Okay. Is there input count? That does not help me. So playable dot. Okay. Darn it. Determines whether specified object instances are the same instance. So that's not good, is it? Not entirely sure what to do here. I would think that the Unity playable. Hold on. Unity timeline playable. Let's see. I know that Unity had a Google Doc a while back telling you how to actually set these things up. So give me a second here. Timeline release notes, timeline preview manual. Okay. So let's go ahead and pull this over here so you guys can see what it is. Woof! Timeline asset. Say, why are my images not loading? I'm not entirely sure how up to date this is. It's entirely possible that we're looking at something that's outdated. In fact, I would be surprised if it wasn't, but hopefully we'll be able to actually figure out how to do this at least. So it's going into Cinemachine stuff, which we don't care about right now. Blend curves, no. Playback, don't really care. Play range, play mode, clip selection, moving clips, splitting, clip modifiers. Don't want to record, don't really care about that. Advanced features, extending, here we go. So script playable, yeah, so it's using the script playable, which is not going to inspire confidence. But I'm actually kind of more concerned with the fact that this stuff never got called. And that's, so this, if you look right here, this image, this is what we had to do before to create and properly get the playable functioning. But I don't know how to handle that, basically. I don't know how to get this set up because it looks like they moved it around. So let's try to recreate this functionality. This is going to be fun. Jeez. Jeez. Create graph. Do I have things that I can do in here? So in the past, it was create script playable, which is wonderful. I'm guessing now it would be called create playable behavior. Let's see, what are our options? Connect input, get duration, get handle. Okay. Hold on. So let's go ahead and say playable p is equal to this. So we're just going to return P. And then we're going to say p.getHandle. Or actually, can we say handle in general? No, it's just going to be getHandle. Okay. So let's do playable handle. Handle is equal to this. And then what are our options with handle? Handle, it's got no options. Yay! Okay. Graph. Well, hold on. Playable graph dot create. Okay, well that's not what we want to do. That's weird. So they have static create functions in all of their classes. Okay. Let's look for graph dot. I don't think it should be connect. I wouldn't think it should be connect. That would be so weird. So is it connect and then display tech? Oh, yeah. Hold on. Namespace sleepy owl text quest. Okay. Display. I spelled sleepy wrong. Display text playable. And then what do I connect it to? It's a UT situation, so that won't work. I need two things, right? Or not. Can I just do one? Nope, it needs two. I don't understand. So should this just be playable graph? I don't know. Let's find out. Does playable graph derive from that? It does not. Okay. Playable is playable. Maybe I need to just do this. Hold on, let's peek this. That is iPlayable. And how about you? Are you iPlayable? It's a playable behavior. It's an iPlayable behavior. Arr. Okay. That is just not gonna work for me, is it? Okay, so connecting, I'm guessing, is meant to manually splice timelines together. So we probably don't want that. Okay. What are our options here? Add input, playable v, and it's an iPlayable, which again is just another playable. Can destroy, can set weights, connect input, destroy, equals, get duration, get graph. Don't want to do get graph. No, I'm willing to bet that it just does. Well, I wonder. See, I would think get handle, because that returns a playable handle. But okay. We might be at a bit of an impasse here, just because I don't really know what to do for playables to function properly. They changed it a lot from beta 2, which is when I messed with it last, which is a little unfortunate. I probably should have been updating in the background just to keep up with it, but I tend to want something really stupid and obscure. So playable handle ph is equal to new. That's worthless. Dang it. P dot handle. I just don't know what to do here. Hold on. So playable handle ph is equal to p dot get handle, and then ph dot it has like nothing. It just has a get hash code. All right, give me a second here. Scriptable object, an playable asset, playable asset duration, outputs, playable binding. This must be every asset inject playables into the given graph. Create playable. Owner of the game object which initiated the build. The playable injected into the graph, or the root playable if multiple playables are injected. So I do need to do something with the graph, but I just don't know what. Let's see. Playable create equals playable handle, playable type is playable of type. Did I need another step? No, surely not. That would be so weird. Okay, hold on. For the time being, let's go ahead and just comment these out. Hit save. What to do here? Well, let's find out once it compiles, which will all be long dead and gone by then, of course. Okay, let's see, cinema director. Here we go, display text. Let's see, create. So we have, so it's just those two playables. Anything in testing? No, that's just actual testing. Scene, prefab, post-processing, profile, material, lens flares, anything extra that's new that I missed? No, just timeline, polybrush, machine, rewired, and sector. Okay. It has to be something in this script that I need to do. The problem is I just don't know what. Factory method that generates a playable based on this asset. Okay, let's see what I can do with the graph. Graph dot connect. No, I can't do connect. Destroy subgraph. Disconnect equals evaluate, which I actually don't even know what evaluate is. Evaluates all the playable outputs in the graph and updates all the connected playables in the graph. Okay, so I think that's just basically a way to force the graph to be in a specific position and evaluate everything. Get output. Give an index in the graph. Get output by type. Playable output. Where T derives from struct and is an iPlayable output. Which, this is merely an iPlayable asset, I believe, correct? Yep. Just to check on that. Okay, that didn't really have much. Display text playable. What about playable behavior? What do we have here? As an iPlayable behavior. Let's peek that on behavior pause. That's nothing. Playable create. Interesting. So it does look like there is an onPlayable create and onPlayable destroy function, which they aren't called here. Wonder why. Okay. Well, I'm slowly going insane. On behavior pause, behavior play, graph start, graph stop. Create when the playable that owns the playable behavior is created. So you can do specific stuff on playable create and on playable destroy, which is actually kind of cool. But it doesn't look like we still don't know how to access the playable information. Like how to actually get it to work. Playable tracks, add instances. Wait. Was this it? Playable track allows you to use script playables. You can create a custom track specifically for your script playable type using the custom track template. No, that's not it. That's just for tracks. Harumph. Okay. That's just for basically creating these whole lines. Still, it might not hurt to have that actually, just because I'm always going to need one of those tracks, so it would be nice to immediately be able to tell which one it is. Sure, why not? Okay, so let's go ahead and go to timeline, select our wizard, and for now, I guess we'll just delete this. It's compiling, so I can't do anything. I guess we will not do anything right now while it compiles. Alrighty then. So let's go ahead and say playable track, delete, display text. We'll keep that in there. So how should what are my naming conventions here? I guess we want to call it track. Yeah, camera switcher track. Okay. Create. Wait, hold on. Is that even a thing anymore? Track asset. Let's find out. Track asset. Track asset is not a thing. Tracked reference? No, probably not position tracker. I'm willing to bet this is not what I think it is. Yeah. Okay. Well, dang it. All right. Hold on. Unity engine dot playables dot here. Now we can at least see all the scripts. Animation playable utilities, data stream type, director update mode, frame data, playable asset, playable behavior, playable asset or output, asset behavior, binding, director extensions, playable graph, handle, output extensions, output handle, play state, script playable. Jeez. Wait, script playable. Hold on. An iPlayable implementation that contains a playable behavior for the playable graph. Playable behavior can be used to write custom playable that implement their own prepare frame callback. Okay. So it's still script playable still exists, I guess, but that doesn't seem to actually help me much. What about playable extensions? What do I have here? Add input, playable, source playable. Nope, can change inputs, can destroy, set weights, connect input, destroy, get duration, get graph. Alright. We might call it a night because clearly I need to look into playables more. It looks like they changed a lot of how it functions. So I will take a look at the forums to see what I can get going here. I mean, I already like it a lot. I do really like this interface. I'm hopeful that I can actually write my own custom tracks. That would be really nice. If not a huge deal, I guess, but it would be nice. And yeah, I feel like timeline is going to be a pretty useful asset. And obviously we didn't have any lag, although, to be fair, I'm not really doing much with it right now. So it would be nice to experiment with it for at least the next couple of days. just to see if we can get our wizard cutscene up and running. And once we do, hopefully by next Tuesday, that's my goal. Actually, not my goal. That's my deadline. Um, I'm going to make a build, and next Tuesday we'll be just doing a run through of the demo, because next Friday is PopCon, so I have a week and a half to get everything up to date, which is probably why it was stupid for me to update to 2017. But I really wanted to mess with timeline, so we'll see. we'll see what ends up horribly breaking. Um, but for now, that's probably a pretty good place to stop for the day. So, um, as always, I want to thank everyone very much for watching, and I will see you all next time.